Okay, students, we want to um, make sure we know how taxes work. You may remember where we have our adjusted gross income, then we try to reduce that to figure out what our taxable income is, and then we figure out our tax. Now, in this little chart right here, we're talking about your gross income or all your money's coming in. Your adjustments are things that you could take off, like savings plans. Now, to find your taxable income, you have to take your AGI minus what we call exemptions and deductions. Exemptions are amounts that come off of your tax because of physical bodies. You can exempt yourself. And then deductions are things that you could use to lower your taxable income even more. Once you figure out your taxable income, then you're going to have to go and you're going to find your tax. Now, basically, most people just figure out their tax and pay their tax. But you may have a tax credit. That's something for you to be aware of, a tax credit. And that comes right off at the end on your taxes. They're very powerful things whenever someone comes up with a new idea for a tax credit. All right, so let's look at some problems. Okay, now remember this tax marginal rate table. The way it's worked up, you have categories. Okay, you've got single, married filing separately, married filing jointly, head of house. And these are your tax rates: 10, 15, 25, 28, 33, 35. Okay, now make sure that you know how we figure out the tax in a particular person's case, and notice that we're going to be studying these numbers very carefully. Also, don't forget, everybody has the option to use the standard deduction, and everybody uses 3,800 in that case for the standard exemption. All right, now you're not locked in by the standard deduction. If you want to itemize, you could increase your amount, but that's going to take a little extra work and more record keeping. Okay, students, let's take a look at this problem here. I'm trying to find another color here. All right, find the gross income, the adjusted gross income, and the taxable income. All right, well, what do we have? He earned 52,600. He earned 720 in interest, and he contributed to a tax-deferred retirement plan. Okay, so this is all the money he's got going in. So 53320. Okay, so this would be his gross. Now, to find his AGI, he contributed to a retirement plan, right? So let's take the 3,200 off of that. 3,200 off. It helps when you have your calculator in front of you. Okay, I mentioned to you earlier that that was going to be a big part of the class. All right. Now, he was entitled to a personal exemption. Okay, so this is his AGI. Now we want to find his we found his gross, that's his gross, his AGI, his taxable income. So we're going to take the 50,000 and we're going to subtract from that his personal exemption, which is $3,800. Okay, it's going to be close to 46, but let me get the exact number. All right, 50120 minus 3800. Okay, so we got 46320. 46320. Okay, I get that. And now, and he had deductions totaling 7250. 7250. Okay, now notice what I'm doing here. I'm subtracting the exemptions and then I'm subtracting the deductions. So I'm going to say about 39.38. And I have 39,070. 39,070. Okay, $39,070, and this is known as his taxable income. So that's how you do a problem like that. Okay, now we have a problem. This problem right here says find the gross income, the AGI, the taxable income. Base the taxable income on the greater of a standard deduction or itemized deduction. Okay, so in these problems, you're slowly doing more, okay, so you're not overwhelmed. And in the case, suppose your neighbor earned $86,250. He received interest on his savings account, that's $1,240, and contributed to a retirement plan. Okay, well, this is all the money going in. Okay, we're going to add these together. 8,7,490. Okay, so this is his gross income. Now we have to find his adjusted gross income. So 8,7,490. Did he have any retirement plan? Why, yes. He contributed $2,200. 2,200. Okay, so this is going to be 8,5,290. Okay, so this is his AGI. Next, they want you to find his taxable income. Well, okay, so taxable income. Well, let's do one thing. Let's take the 8,5,290 and subtract his exemption. 3,800. Okay, well that's 90. That's 8. That's 2. That's 14. Okay, so $81,490. Now, the question really is, we're going to have to, since we subtracted the exemption, we need to subtract his deduction. What is his choice? Well, you could have the standard deduction of 5,950, or we could add all these other items if they qualify. You could do your interest. You could contribute money to charity. And she paid at $1,725 in state income taxes. Okay, well, what is this? This is a 2.5. Let's see, 7.4. That's 11. That's 20. That's 10. That's 1.3. Okay, now the question is, which one's bigger, the 5,950 or this number? See? And in order for you to find the taxable income, you're going to have to subtract this number minus this number here, okay? So I have my calculator handy real quick. 8,1,490 minus 1,3025. And the answer is 6,8,465. Okay? I hope that helps you out. Okay, now notice here, this one's saying use the table to compute the tax owed by this particular person. So who we're dealing with here? A single man with an income of $40,000. Okay, I'm going to look at the chart, and I see 10%. I'm going to do this a little different than class. 8,700. 15%. That's up to 3,550. Now he made $40,000, so he's going to be in the 25% tax bracket. So this is 25%, and he made up to 40,000. 40,000. Okay, now we're not going to take. We got to be careful in this first part. We're going to take 10% of 8,700 and get 870. But in the 15%, we're just going to take the amount, the difference between the 35350 and the 8700, which we did this in class. 35350 minus 8700, and that number is 26650. And what's 15% of that? Okay, so that's, we did this before, 3997.50. Now, notice that he made over this amount. So in this bracket right here, if he made 35351, he's going to, he's in that bracket by $1. $1. He would pay a fourth of that $1, which is a quarter. But really, how far is he in there? Well, subtract the 40,000 from the 35350. 40000 minus 35350, and that's 4650. So guess what? He's paying 25% on that amount there, which is how much into that bracket he is. That's still a lot of money. Divide that by 4 is 1162. 1162. So to figure out 0.5, figure out his total tax bill, we have to add all of these three together. And you get something like 6030. That's a lot of taxes, folks. Okay, we're looking at number 15, and I'm just going to explain it. You'll have to go back, replay this, and pause it if you need to. But it's a single male, okay? No dependents. Here's his gross income, adjustments, his deductions. All right, so we start out right here, and we're taking this away to find his AGI, 71,000. Now remember, the next step is to find the taxable income. Let's take away his exemption for himself. Okay, no children, right? Now we're down to here. Now we want to see which is bigger, his standard deduction, which is $59.50, or all of these guys we can add together. How do we know to add them together? Because you read the book. So we put those guys together, and we get this number right here, which is a pretty good number. So we subtract that and we get $32,100. How much tax does he owe on that? Well, going back to the table, notice he would be in the 15% bracket. So for the amount of money from 0 to 8,700, he pays 10%. That's this number. Now, how much money in the 15% bracket does he have? Well, it's the 3,200 minus this number. And it gives you this number. Do 15% and get that number. So we take these two numbers, add them together, and that's his tax bill. Again, that's a lot of money. Now here's a problem that has to do with FICA. Okay, remember this is going to Social Security. So the person made $120,000. Yay, way for him. Okay, and so on the first 110 you pay this percent, so it's this much money. And on the remainder, which is $10,000, he pays this percent according to the chart, which is $145. What do I do those two numbers? I add them together and get that number. Here's some interesting questions. What is income tax? What's gross? What's adjusted gross income? Exemptions, deductions. These are actually really good questions to ask yourself when you're talking about taxes. I just realized I messed up on some of those former videos here. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Anyway, this part right here has got some good questions. Here's 41. My employer withholds the same amount of federal tax dollars on my first dollars of earnings and my last dollars of earnings. Federal tax is just a certain percentage of your income. It doesn't matter if it's your first dollars or your last dollars. You're just going to get that percentage off of what you're making. Hopefully that makes sense. That could have been worded better.